This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day, night that you're watching or listening to this. This is Saturday Morning Mysteries, and we are your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
And we are here to tell another tale or story of adventure and crime and spywomanship from our new show that we have been enjoying. No longer the Wild Thornberries, Grace.
No more.
Totally Spies.
Although, can you imagine a crossover?
Ooh, it would be wild. Yeah. Thinking of
Nigel becomes one of the Totally Spies in a cat suit.
I love how that's who you go to when there are three women in the family, and it's like, no,
funniest to see
Nigel, Darwin, and Donnie in cat suits. I'm here for it. I would watch. But yeah, so Grace is up today. She's gonna do another episode for us, so I'm gonna hand it on off to you.
Thank you very much. And Alexis, this is also our 75th episode.
Whoa. Happy 75th episode day.
Indeed it is.
That's crazy.
Yes, take the day off of work, everyone.
Yeah.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday. Happy Saturday. I hope you enjoy your day off.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, you can thank us for creating the calendar.
Exactly. So
wow.
Yes,
that's
for
crazy.
Our 75th episode today. It will be, another episode of Totally Spies. This is season 2, episode 21. And our cold open today, that kind of always starts off in these episodes, starts in the wintry mountains, nearing the Devil's Peak ski resort in a truck that has, or like a van maybe, that has a radio playing. And we hear the broadcast. It like holds on the radio itself for a little bit, and stereo itself in the car. And it's an emergency broadcast announcing that there's been an escape from the state's maximum security prison.
Horror movie.
And
so it's a horror movie.
Please be advised that the escapee is likely armed and is absolutely dangerous.
I hate to pause you this early on in your episode, but I feel like it's the perfect carry on from last week's episode, because I was going to say, what snowy mountains are they in? Is it the French Alps by chance? Is it Macker?
Unfortunately, I assume this is probably like Lake Tahoe or something like that.
Oh, okay. But okay.
It's funny that you did mention your last episode, because there are going to be some similarities that I was just giggling internally to myself during your last episode of us recording, being like, we're always on the same page.
Yeah.
Always. Although, like, I don't know, maybe where Macker in your last episode was originally prisoned and broke out, maybe it was part of this breakout that happened. We don't know where in the timeline this happens.
A low security prison of sorts.
Yep. Although this one, the radio does say max security prison.
Okay.
But either way, not great.
Yeah.
And not great also because we see part of the driver who seems to be wearing some form of a jumpsuit, perhaps a prison jumpsuit. And he's got like a very like pointed white, like silverish beard, and he's smiling and laughing at the announcement. And then we cut to our spies on a school bus headed to their annual ski trip.
Oh my gosh.
So they're classic school high schoolers ski trip up to fucking like Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, right. Haven't we all done this?
Like all of us do. They're sharing a seat, our 3 spies, Alex, Clover, and Sam, talking about what they're stoked for that weekend. Sam wants to hit the trails to take pics on her new digital camera. Alex wants to hit the slopes because she's a badass snowboarder, and Clover wants to hit up the boys.
Of course.
But also on this bus, because it's obviously a school field trip, is their classmate and their arch nemesis. We've mentioned her in the past. She's not a criminal mastermind, but someone much more devastating. Another teenage girl, Mandy.
Yes.
So we haven't really fully talked about her yet, besides mentioning she's their nemesis. She comes up a lot in this episode and is part of the plot.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you guys about her a little bit now.
Nice.
So Mandy is another Richie rich girl at Beverly Hills High School. She's got long black hair. She's kind of like the Regina George mean girl of the high school. Her and Clover, well, her and all three of them have a beef, but mainly her and Clover, because they're always trying to steal each other's boyfriends and are like making fun of each other and like their fashion choices and all that kind of stuff. And Mandy has like one of the worst voices of all times. It's this like super nasally Valley Girl voice.
It's like 1,000 times, like nails on a chalkboard is more pleasing.
It's worse than what I just did. Like,
yeah,
more
way
than
worse.
what I just did. And it is.
And her laugh is just so like
a cackle. It's like a
throw her off of a cliff. Anyway.
Yeah, it's like a nasally cackle. And yeah, it's like even more high pitched than my voice can go, plus the nasally. And it is so painful. And like I mentioned, yeah, they always are like making fun of each other and trying to put each other down. For example, we see on the bus that Mandy is like scoffing and making fun of Clover's outfit, because Mandy's outfit is a one-of-a-kind designer suit. So like also basically being like, yeah, my family is richer than you. My family is richer than you. It's so bad. And this infuriates Clover more than usual, actually, because Mandy gets up on the bus, which you're not supposed to do, and shows off her custom designer ski fit, which like luckily Alex and Sam are there to like hold Clover back, not from like throwing punches or anything at Mandy, but from saying, you're just copying me, because Mandy's outfit is an all red head to toe jumpsuit, just like Clover's spy suit is.
Clover, don't say it.
Yeah, Alex and Sam were like, Clover.
Oh God.
Can't say anything. So yeah, so Mandy's like, I'm so original, and Clover's just like fuming in the seat. But yes, they keep her quiet before she's like, you're just copying me in my spy suit, because that would be a bad thing to say.
Yes.
And
your what suit? Excuse
wait,
me.
Your what?
Everyone turns and looks at her. Like, huh?
The bus goes quiet.
The bus driver turns around and looks at her.
Yeah, slams on the brakes.
Yeah.
And their annoyance with Mandy grows even more for when they hop off the bus at the ski resort. There's this like surfer bro ski bum snowboarder dude with like long blonde hair who Clover immediately has heart eyes for. Mandy sees this, so she obviously immediately comes in and scoops the boy Todd away so that he can't talk to Clover. Yeah, Todd, man. It's like how he talks. Which is important for a scene later on, actually.
Oh, good. Okay,
remind me to imitate. We'll come back to this voice.
Okay, cool.
And so Sam and Alex are like glaring at Mandy as like Clover's upset. And Sam and Alex overhear the boy Todd telling Mandy that he's about to enter the snowboarding competition that's happening this weekend. And so Sam tells Alex, like, hey, you know what? Like, you would kick Todd's ass in a snowboarding competition. So you should enter, because then you'll win and then embarrass Mandy that she was trying to date a loser.
Wow. This is deep. Yeah. Holy crap.
Their hatred for Mandy has no bounds, and
there's no bounds.
So extreme in this episode.
Oh my God.
Like,
I mean, like, I understand it though.
Yeah, like
she's pretty terrible.
She's pretty terrible. She like goes out of her way to make their life horrible. Her voice itself could she shatter glass.
She could be the nicest person on the world, and I would still not want to be around her at a minimum, just because her voice is so terrible. I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry. It's just the truth.
Yeah, not sorry at all. And yes, they're well, I guess, yeah, things continue to get worse, I would say, after that first strike of fashion, second strike of boy stealing, third strike of they head to their room only to open the door and find Mandy.
Oh no.
Because the school chaperones put them all together.
4 to a room. That's a little crowded.
I know. I guess
I guess that's like what we did in like rowing, though.
Yeah,
but
like
also,
we did that in high school,
but like, well, whatever. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
it was high school. But yes, cue all four of them screaming and crying that they hopped a room together. Cue and cut to the three spies out of the room, desperately calling Jerry and begging for a mission to get them away from Mandy.
Oh my gosh. Jerry, please. There has to be a bomb threat somewhere that we can neutralize. It would be better.
There has to be someone jaywalking. Fuck it. Give us the jet. We'll come in and stop him from jaywalking.
It's like a granny.
Yeah.
Like fly a jet to stop a granny jaywalking.
Bazooka.
Oh my God, this is so much better. Yeah. Blow up an entire town,
city block,
make the problem worse so that they have to just stay even longer.
Yeah, they actually bomb a prison to let more people out so that they can go catch them.
That's actually how the person got out.
They were like, please, 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 please. And like, yes, I will say the moment between them, like all crying and like screaming to them, calling Jerry, Mandy was being like, oh my God, I requested a room to myself. Like, you brought all your junk in here. And she like picks up like Sam's like new camera and goes, oops, and just like fucking drops it. She like knocks Alex's snowboard off of like a chair. Like she is straight up a bitch. Like,
did she break the camera?
No, we don't think she broke it.
Oh, I was gonna say that's because then she'd be able to
getting her kicked out.
Exactly. Well, no, grounds for hitting her.
You know what?
I don't condone violence, by the way.
But let that annoyance.
You mess with my property.
Let that annoyance into violence stay boiled in you, though. Okay.
Okay.
Because it'll come out later.
Okay.
Don't worry. Just keep turning up the heat on that a little bit.
Okay.
Heat on that pot.
Yeah.
But yes, so yeah, that was happening. Then they left to call Jerry, be like, get this the fuck out. Jerry immediately is like, high school rivalries are not my jurisdiction. And like, girls, we don't have a mission right now. So just go relax. Like, you'll figure it out yourselves. So since they can't get out via Jerry, they just decide like, okay, fine. We'll just stay out of the room as much as possible so we don't have to deal with Mandy. And like, yes, Jerry's right. Like, we're on a vacation. We're on a little fun trip. There's fun things to do. Let's just all go do those. So they all split up to go do their like various fun activities. So Clover heads down to a frozen lake to do some ice skating right where Todd is playing ice hockey. And so she's skating out, but she kind of like trips on something and falls. And Todd does notice and is about to go skate over to help her. But who shows up? Hi, Todd. But Mandy.
Todd like shrieks like, ah.
You see like a crack in the ice form at her voice. Some birds
all the players behind him like fall through the crack.
And yes, Mandy comes in and sweeps Todd away, leaving Clover literally on her ass on the ice. And interestingly, that indeed perhaps Mandy's voice is as strong as that, because no one seems to notice as the ice around Clover starts to crack and then fall beneath her. And Clover plunges into the literal ice water, which nobody notices because Mandy has skated Todd away and probably all the players left to avoid Mandy. So yes, she plunges into the freezing cold water, but luckily
she could die.
Yeah, she could die if not from drowning, hypothermia for sure. But luckily she's a master spy, so she's able to pull herself out. She's very in shape. She gets back onto the ice and is gasping for breath, already shivering. But when she does look back at where she fell, she does pause for a moment in confusion because the way the ice cracked that she fell into cracked in a perfect circle around Clover with no indication of like cracks coming from further places. It's a perfect circle, which is also very strange for nature to do perfectly. But presumably she skates home and immediately gets medical attention, or like back to the resort, warms up by the fire.
Fair.
Yes, she's
That's
like,
strange. I need a nurse.
I'm dying. I almost just died and actually getting hypothermia. I need to leave. So meanwhile, Sam has her camera in tow and is riding up on the gondola towards one of the peaks because she wants to get some epic pics. And in the back of the gondola is one of their classmates that we saw her like kind of crushing on the bus earlier. She stands next to him, and I promise this is all relevant, but also very funny. So I included it. Okay. She stands next to him and comments on like, wow, this is like, look at the view. It's so impressive and like beautiful. Like this resort is so impressive. And he sighs and goes, yeah, it is, but they probably cut down a lot of trees and ruined a lot of things for habitat and wildlife just to build this resort for humans. And so Sam's like, yeah, like good point. But like the view is pretty romantic, isn't it?
God.
And the awkwardness only grows because the gondola at this point like gets to the top, stops, the doors open up. He starts walking out and he goes, yeah, it sure is. I'll keep my eyes open for you, Sam, for any single dudes around, and walks off.
Oh, geez. Sam's got no riz. Didn't work.
So Sam is so shooketh and mortified and is applying salves to that 3rd-degree burn.
Ow.
That she is frozen in place as everyone files off the gondola.
Oh my God, that was savage. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess is it savage if he didn't mean for it to be? I don't know.
No, it's still savage. And because then he also like mic dropped and walked off.
Yeah.
Like over his shoulder, like, yeah, I'll keep my eye open for you for any single dudes. Bye, Sam.
Yeah, you seem to like someone who isn't into conservation and stuff. I'll find someone who doesn't care about the trees for you. Like, oh,
let me find a capitalist for you. Bye.
I think some oil baron's son is here. Let's find him.
Oh, I bet you're gonna pollute anyways while you're here. Don't forget to pick up after your litter. Walks out.
Bye.
Bye, Sam. So yeah, yes. I'll find someone else who's trash, like the trash you're leaving behind you.
That's basically what he said.
Essentially, yes. So yeah, Sam understandably frozen in place from that sick burn. And she is so frozen that the gondola doors shut while she's still on it, which takes her out of her daze, and she starts yelling to be like, no, don't let it go back down. She's obviously trying to get pics, but most of these things are kind of just like automatic, like, all right, doors closed, it's going back down. So it's going its way back down the mountain. Sam's just like, well, fuck, all right, I guess I'll just ride it all the way around.
Like, it's a ride.
Yep, I'll go back down and back up, I guess. But as it heads down, it starts to like sway a little bit, which is always stressful on a gondola, and starts to make some like metal, like creaking noises almost. And Sam like kind of is able to open a window and kind of like poke her head out to be like, what's going on? And sees some sparks. And then realizes that the cable that's holding the gondola up above the mountains is starting to fray until it completely snaps. And the gondola, with Sam in it, falls from the sky.
Oh my God.
And crashes into a little like outcropping on the side of the mountain. Because she's a spy, she's able to roll out the fuck out of that one of those windows she had it open. And I don't know how she didn't die upon this initial impact, but if she hadn't tumbled out the window, Sam would be dead, because then the gondola continues to, it like teeters. Her force of like jumping out causes it to careen off the mountainside.
Oh my God.
And then we see, because they love this in this show, an explosion.
Of course.
Like,
Of course.
and also it starts an avalanche.
Okay, that was, it's funny. I was thinking Mandy's voice would start the avalanche, but that works.
But
Also,
nope.
this is I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
And so yeah, Sam looks over the edge at the engulfed in flames, but also oncoming avalanche. She's on avalanche path below and is like, let me just snap a couple pics of this with my digital camera. This seems suspicious. Yeah, instead of like, get the fuck out, Sam.
I was gonna say, could you imagine the trauma of like seeing the gondola explode at the bottom of the mountain and being like, oh my God, I was 2 seconds away from being in that, and then being like, okay, picture time.
Yeah, literally,
and then
Sam,
the trauma of seeing an avalanche coming at you too, and still being like, okay, pictures.
Like Sam had, if she hadn't opened that window 2 seconds before it fell, she wouldn't even had a place to escape out of. But also she's like, ooh, but the lighting that the flames give.
Golden hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Created by the flames.
Ooh, I don't even need a filter.
Yeah.
So yes, she's taking some pics. I guess rightfully her spy gene is kicking in, being like, either that's suspicious or being like, this resort's going to try and sue me for this. I got to have evidence that this wasn't my fault, that this broke.
It's that
probably.
one.
Yeah, it's probably that one. But she also looks up to the broken cable that's now dangling down, which she realizes and does like take some pictures of. It wasn't like frayed and all crazy, but instead, both sides of the cable that are dangling down were like perfectly clean cuts. Like all of the like cable pieces are perfectly even, just snipped a little bit.
Yeah.
So somehow she's able to get back down. Like she is like on the side of this mountain. I don't know how she got back down, but she did.
She's a spy.
She's a spy. That's all we need to know. When she gets back down to the resort, everyone there is upset because they can't get to the peak now because the gondola has slowed down. And who's there?
I'm alive, by the way. Thanks, guys.
Doubly so. Who's there? But Mandy, who sees Sam, who's probably like fucking covered in like ash and like sweat, probably like some cuts. And
like,
Mandy,
cuts, ripped shit and everything. Like hair all frayed. Yeah.
Smells like smoke. And Mandy yells at Sam, saying it's all her fault that the cable toward the gondola exploded. Now, I can't get to the top of the mountain with Todd. So, well, that's happened. And then, yeah, Alex or Sam probably is like, I need also medical attention.
Yeah.
I'm going to go join the urgent care that Clover is currently in.
Clover's already sitting in there. She's like a thermometer in her mouth.
Yeah. Hey, Sam.
Sam like has a sling. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, Jerry better not fucking call us for a mission right now. Like we are out for the count.
The busiest day at that medical center in a long time.
Exactly. And then finally we've got Sam, who is unaware that both her friends are in the hospital, more or less. And Sam is out shredding on her snowboard, hitting the slopes. But all of a sudden, the snowboard gets out of her control. It's like not like kind of like responding to her movement like she's used to. And she falls, and the board flies off of her feet and slams into a tree, snapping in half. And Alex is very confused by this because the board shouldn't have been able to fly off her feet like that. Like she's got all the things set correctly and strapped in. Doubly so, why did her board shatter like that?
Yeah.
But she's distracted because from behind, she hears the worst laughter of all time.
Oh, that's kind of like worse than what I thought. I thought you were going to say the avalanche, but that's worse.
Yeah, if you heard that laughter, you'd be like, avalanche, just take me.
Please, avalanche. I'm ready.
Yeah, just take me away. And yes, it's Mandy and her friends skiing by, laughing at Alex that she just ate shit. They don't stop to help her. They just keep skiing down. And also, by the way, this bitch is fucking everywhere.
Yeah, it's like, how did she get up there so quick? I thought she just said she couldn't take the gondola up.
Yeah, I think there's like another ski lift. I think all of these events must have happened throughout the day, but yeah, Mandy is just fucking everywhere. But this time we do see, or the avid viewer at least will notice, that there is kind of like off in the woods behind where Alex crashed. We do see a snowmobile and we see it jet off in a different direction. So very sus. But Alex is able to, I guess, like scoot her way down the mountain, meet up with Clover and Sam, probably in urgent care. She probably hit like her shoulder or something like that when she fell, like, got a little whiplash. So
she's got like a neck brace on. All of them are just like in various like medical apparatus.
Alex has a neck brace, Sam has a sling, Clover has one of those like reflective blankets.
She's like blue. Oh my God. Jerry calls, girls, there's an old lady jaywalking.
The plane's on its way to pick you up now. And they just hang up.
Yeah.
But yes, so they talk about their wild fucking days that have brought them to this point. And they, like you, Bird, notice there's some things in common throughout their days. And it's maybe not like you in the sense that it's not the fact that they all almost died today, but it's the fact that Mandy was nearby in every scenario. Which shows right now that it is a bottomless pit of hatred they have for Mandy. For they blame Mandy for all of these things. So like, okay, one, maybe her voice shattered the ice, but like in a perfect circle, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
her voice snapped the cables.
Maybe her like laughter distracted Alex and Alex fell and it was like a rental board that was old. But yeah, my question was like, how'd this bitch cut a cable?
You like see her shimmying on it.
Right. And then like holding onto it as it swings down. And she has to crawl back up. like what?
Like, come on, girls.
Girls,
she's useless. She can't do that.
Girls, again, like
the thought of that though is hilarious.
Like I could like maybe somehow figure out the other ones, but yeah, having like this teenage girl, like also like the wire, like the cables are hot. It's actively like friction on it from the gondola. Also, she'd have to be like going so quickly to like make sure the gondola was close enough to the cut.
She's wearing the spy suit though. She'll be fine. She's protected.
Do it all. Yeah, she put like this that's the little known fact about all red like cat suits of any variety. You can suddenly become a spy the second you zip it up. This power coming over me. I could murder today.
Yeah.
And make it look like an accident.
Yeah.
So yes, that is their current fucking wild theory. But just as they are getting way too revved up on the truth behind this, they do indeed get a call from Jerry, which they quickly pick up and they're like, Jerry, shit's going wild here. We almost just died because of some other teenage girl. Here's the things that went down. Get us out of here, Jerry.
Yeah.
And Jerry's like, well, that seems pretty strange, but before you go thinking it's some teenage girl, I'm calling you because a former criminal that they had busted, much like in your last episode, just broke out of prison that day and is probably out for revenge against them and could be at the resort because you're right near that maximum security prison.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks,
so
Jer.
Anyway.
Yeah, so hilariously, I will say the girls are like, oh, thank God someone's out trying to kill us for revenge so we can leave, right? Like, we can leave this place and leave Mandy. Like, we'll totally go take this guy down.
Cool. Happy to do it. To do it.
But to their dismay, Jerry chuckles and explains too casually, like, basically saying, no, like you guys are the bait there. Like he's already clearly coming after you. So he's already there. I'll just airdrop you your gadgets in about 3 minutes. Don't die. Bye.
Does he actually call them bait?
He doesn't call them bait, but he does say like, well, he's clearly already there. So like you guys stay put and just get him because he's already come to you.
I was like, is this some extremely convoluted Woot plan to like get the girls there so that they can draw out this criminal, set bait, and then trap it? And it might be Jerry just didn't want to be that explicit.
Exactly.
Tell him, yeah.
Like his like PR person is like behind him because he's like, Jerry, from the last episode when he was like, we're gonna lobotomize you. Yeah, like, Jerry, you gotta work on your communication skills.
You gotta ease off.
Don't show all your cards all the time, buddy. You are in charge of this agency. So who is this previous criminal that they put away? We will pause our episode for now. Because in this case, it was actually a criminal from an earlier episode. I went back and watched that episode. So I'm going to tell you about it very briefly now. Cool. And also, then we'll see why he's after them for revenge. So basically, in the past, aka past episode, there's this dude named Dr. Jolie. And Dr. Jolie was a research scientist once. And this man was researching something that, believe it or not, viewers and listeners, although it won't be a surprise if you've been listening for a while, comes up again and again and again in our shows. Dr. Jolie was a research scientist for global warming.
Of course.
And yes,
of course,
like most of the cartoon villains that are somehow involved in finding out the truths of climate change, Dr. Jolie became hopeless in the face of human impact, thinking that like, well, I've tried to spin the truth here. It's oil companies made this origin story because they kept on polluting. And so instead, Dr. Jolie said, well, if I can't get people to believe in climate change, the human race is the problem. So let me just take care of that pesky human race. It's not all the way wrong.
No, he's not. But
you know, it's intention versus impact here. Intention. Yes. Okay. Impact.
Do the ends justify the means?
Yeah. You know, he might have a noble cause, but he is no noble human being. Yes. So post leaving his post as a scientist, he created some tech to basically turn the Earth back into the Ice Age, the usual climate change villain plot, and to kill off the human race and like hit the restart button on the whole planet. And lest you think that he was going to die off too, he built some crazy fucking bunker that like would withstand an ice age. And when the girls arrived to stop him, this absolute fucking creep, it turns out, decides that withstanding the ice age would be so lonely by himself. So he decides to take Clover as his ice queen, so he doesn't get lonely.
Not this again.
Yep, this again. There's a lot of pedophiles in this show.
There are. Like, I mean, I don't feel totally comfortable saying that these girls are 18. Like something tells me they're.
I don't think. Like, I think they're like juniors.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's very horrible in every way, shape, and form. Yes. So in that last episode, Clover gets casually kidnapped by him. He's forcing her to be his ice queen away in his bunker. He's also like upper middle age. This is like an older gentleman. Not gentleman, that's not a correct word for him. Yeah. This is an older creepo man. Just older man. And yes, the girls obviously defeat him, do lock him away into a maximum security prison. And in back to our episode.
Security prison, as they recently found out.
Subpar security prison. This is again maybe part of the larger prison break that Mackers was a part of.
True.
Your episode. We don't know. We just don't know.
They just all put him in Lake Tahoe.
God, I wish I remembered what the name of what's that? There's the one like max security prison that's really famous in
Colorado.
Oh no, I am thinking Colorado. You're right.
Supermax.
Maybe 80X.
80 or
I can't,
something like that. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's a problem that there are too many of them that we can't figure out which one it is. It's the reflection of America. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
But their ski trip could be in Colorado for all I know. So back to our episode now. They don't get into how he got out of prison, but I would like to, for 2 lines, wildly speculate that I think instead of making toilet wine in jail, he made like toilet ever freeze or like quick freeze that like, plumbers use to like freeze pipes. He made the toilet version of that, froze his cell bars, and just like busted out because he likes freezing things. So
I have no purpose for wine. Wine won't get me out of here.
Exactly. So yes. Anyways, Jerry is like, yeah, all of our intelligence shows that like he's kind of guy who holds a grudge, and he's probably after you guys for both ruining his plan and Clover breaking his heart. Clover, you should be especially careful.
Yeah.
So Justice, I know, isn't that so fucking creepy?
Yes. The things that just went through my mind. Yikes.
Yeah, bad.
Okay.
Bad.
Get him out. Get him out.
A lot of creepo people.
I blame this show.
Episode.
Yeah.
Right. And also I'm like, oh yeah, this show is like, watched it when we were like children, and like no wonder I've like always been on like high alert around men. I'm just like, what are your intentions?
Are you an eco-terrorist who wants to take me as your ice bride?
Exactly. And so as Jerry promised, the gadgets arrive via being dropped from the sky. It includes like some super cool fancy snowboards, some of their like earrings that are also like super hearing aids essentially, and some laser lipstick. So first order of business is, rightfully so, and I think maybe Jerry does mention this and be like, you guys should go do this, is to go apologize to Mandy for jumping to conclusions that she was the one to cut a perfect hole to drown Clover, fuck with the snowboard to murder Alex, and cut the gondola cable to explode Sam.
Did they accuse her to her face ever?
I think they like kind of did. I can't totally remember, to be honest.
Oh well, it doesn't matter. She doesn't deserve an apology.
Well,
no.
Doubly she doesn't deserve an apology because Mandy is not one to forgive and forget.
Yeah.
So she immediately hears this of like, Mandy, like we had a bad day and we're so sorry that we blamed you for it. And Mandy's like, girl, don't talk to me, essentially. She grabs Todd because he was there and walks away from the girls, strategically trying to like place herself in a window where Clover could see her and Todd so that like she can make Clover jealous. But like, I would like to pause for a second to think that like the apology was like, hey, so we almost died a couple times today and we thought it was you. Of like the reaction if someone told me
accusing her of murder.
Of like conspiracy to murder almost. Of like my reaction would be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What's your problem?
Yeah, like what, like I need a restraining order against you guys. Like that is too far. But instead Mandy's like, why are you talking to me? Come on, Todd, let's go. So yeah, like a very extreme accusation and an insane response.
What? So Mandy has obviously been accused of murder before. She's been there. She's like,
how do you think my family got all our money? You don't get to
defamation lawsuits.
You don't get to the top to get designer cat suits without breaking a couple of necks along the way. Why do you think it's dyed red? The blood of my enemy.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, I know this was a very bad idea by Mandy.
Doing the whole like showcasing Todd and whatnot.
Yep. And Todd. Like, oh, Todd. Yes, by like walking out with Todd. Because the girls are like, okay, fuck that bitch. Have other things on their mind, aka like, how do we not get horribly murdered? And how do we catch this guy who's trying to murder us? And they're not paying attention to Mandy's petty shenanigans.
Good.
Yes, good. They are taking the higher road here. And so Mandy, out on like the back porch or whatever of this resort, is like, Todd, Clover's not watching. You should kiss me because I bet Clover will notice. Which at that point I was like, is Mandy in love with Clover? Does Mandy have a crush on Clover?
Most likely, now that you say it, first of all, but also it's like, what do you mean? I bet she'll notice when I kiss you. Like, do you think she's like supersonic hearing? You like hear a kiss from like
How
yards
loud is your
away.
kiss?
Yeah, ew.
Gross.
Work on that.
Yeah.
Work on that,
Todd's gonna
girl.
be grossed out here real
Yeah.
soon, Mandy. She got that nasally voice. She can't breathe through her nose, so it's like real weird mouth stuff happening by Mandy.
Okay.
And so Mandy's like, Todd, close your eyes and kiss me so Clover notices. So, yeah, Mandy's unhinged.
Still hate her. Don't care. Still hate her. Even if she is trying to work through some shit, don't care. Still hate her.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And they get closer and closer, about to smooch, when a hand fucking covers Mandy's mouth. Something slams Todd in the head.
Ooh.
And Mandy, we see it gets dragged away in the snow. Like her arms and hands are flinging, or like and legs are flinging, and we just hear muffled screaming.
Ooh.
And when Todd finally comes to, he runs inside to get help, which is the point where I would like to point out his
Okay, thank
again.
you. I was waiting for it. I was like, I want to.
Yeah, because like the first people he sees are Alex, Sam, and Clover. But he's like got this like total chill surfer voice, like bro voice, man. So he's like, whoa, I don't know exactly what happened. I like got knocked out. I'm like, some dude just like pulled Mandy away, guys. Like, this was a violent kidnapping. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know. It was like crazy, guys.
Like, where's the urgency, dude? Like, come on.
Like, sir, also here's where urgent care is. Like, we should test you for DNA. Like, this is all bad news bears. He's like, yeah, I don't know.
And a concussion, perhaps.
Yes.
You said he like passed out too. Not good.
Right,
Very
like,
not good.
Passed out in the snow. Also hypothermia, most likely.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I don't know. He had like some like silver beard. I only like saw him for a second before like I got totally knocked out, guys. So like he's not a star witness.
No,
they're not going to call him to the stand,
and not at all
in this situation. Or
no
Mandy.
credibility.
They're going to cut this part of the case out entirely.
They're like, let's just find surveillance footage if we can. It's our best bet. These two are useless.
They're not credible witnesses. They will annoy the jury, essentially, and he'll go free.
The jury will somehow, even though Mandy's a witness, the jury will find her guilty
of like the kidnapping charge.
Yeah. She kidnapped herself. God, hey, listen to that voice. Just throw her in jail, please. Or in prison.
Gotta get her out of here. Solitary. Immediately soundproof solitary. And funny that we say that about Mandy, because there's a brief pause. Like Todd like leaves the room, probably again for medical attention. And the girls look at each other and basically are like, is this actually a bad thing though? Like,
no, I mean,
Mandy's gone.
I was thinking it when you said so. A hand came up behind her. I was like, okay.
But what changes Todd, their mind is only like, if something happens to her, it's probably gonna get blamed on us, because like Jolie is after us, and it's like our charge to stop him. So like, we still have to stop him, and I guess save Mandy. So they are bummed about this situation. Basically, their hands are tied.
Yeah,
they gotta at least stop Dr. Jolie still.
Yeah,
if Mandy makes it, if they don't get there in time for Mandy, they tried.
Yeah, like they'll still be like heroes.
Yeah, they still got to say that they tried. Like,
yeah, they like take their time.
Yeah. Like, ooh, what the snowboarding comp was today. Ooh, Todd's single now. Ooh, the golden hour. I gotta go take pics. We'll get to her.
Eventually, it's fine.
But yes, so they're like, oh, I guess we have to take care of this. And meanwhile, we see Dr. Julie's hideout, which is in like a cabin or like chalet, kind of tucked away in the mountains near the resort. He is definitely, he's got like his pointy silver beard, silver, like, I think like pulled back or like gelled back hair. I'm pretty sure he's like still in his prison jumpsuit. It's like all white. Like maybe he changed into another all white suit, but like he definitely clearly just broke out of prison.
Yeah.
And we see Dr. Jolie, this plan of his is really not coming together as he planned, because he is currently at his wits fucking end. because Mandy, tied to a chair, is complaining about being kidnapped.
Yeah,
She's like,
he's probably annoyed with her.
It's so cold in here. Where is the TV? Your decorations are ugly. I am so bored. He looks like he's just about to kill her on the spot and
He's
get
like,
it over with.
He might just off himself at this point. He's like, it's
He's
not worth it.
Turn himself back into max security so she can't ever like find him
Escape.
again. Yeah.
Or that too, yeah.
Yeah, but he takes like some deep breaths, recenters himself, and says, "Now, my ice queen, my dear Clover," because remember, Mandy has an all red jumpsuit on.
God, his memory's bad though. They don't look a thing alike.
Not
but
good.
Okay.
Not good. Well, that's my next note is like, clearly he was not like that into Clover because their hair is completely different. Like none of them are the same, except he was just like red jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's his type. He's like, I like anyone in a red jumpsuit. That's it. That's what gets him.
Yeah, and Mandy starts cackling. Combined her name and cackling. Oh man. Starts cackling and being like, ew, I'm not Clover. Gross. So like, let me go. But instead, Dr. Jolie mistakenly, again, he's making a lot of mistakes here in this plan. I don't know what happened to him in max security. Maybe he was forced to drink some of that toilet Everfreeze when people thought it was toilet wine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something's gone a little
something's off though.
There. Yeah, it's not going great. Because he assumes that Mandy would have friends because he now thinks like, perfect. Clover, Alex, and Sam are your friends because they're your classmates. So they will have to come save you. So now you're bait. And I'm pretty sure he does call her bait. And at this point, Mandy does actually get really fucking scared. She's like, wait, what?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it shuts her up. I will say though, momentarily, I think she immediately goes back into complaining and like screaming her head off. But back at the lodge, and now he's like, fuck, I have to keep you alive for at least as long as them to come here. Oh God. Goes get his earmuffs. Who knows this poor man.
Right. Like shuts her off in a soundproof room.
Yeah. But back at the lodge, yes, the girls are reconvening on how the fuck to find this guy before he kills Mandy.
Yeah.
Well, they guess they have to save her when a message comes via a tape to them, like a recording. And I know that Mandy continued screaming because the recording is just a recording of Mandy screaming for help, which like one, if it was any other voice, that's fucking scary.
Yeah.
But two, because it's Mandy, they like listen to like 2 seconds and just shut it off.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God, no. And the girls immediately know this is a setup by Dr. Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
And know that this means Mandy's still alive. So like,
so they can take their time.
Yeah, they're like, it could be dangerous for us because it's a setup. And like, Mandy's not dead, so she could be fine as his ice queen. So like, do we have to do this? But one of them does point out they do have to take action. Not because Mandy's blood will be on their hands, but because if they save her, Mandy will owe them her life.
Oh my God.
So not a lot of noble causes happening.
A nice quid pro quo going here.
Exactly.
This is the ultimate back scratching, Mandy.
And that's
just so you know
what fucking convinces them to go save Mandy. It's like, oh, she's gonna owe us so fucking good. So then they head to one of like the nearby peaks for what I propose, Bird, is maybe the greatest moment of investigative work in any of our shows so far. Because at the peak, they turn on their super hearing devices.
Oh my God.
And you hear Mandy screaming, which they are able to immediately pinpoint where she is. Her screaming is also so annoying and loud that it like creates like feedback on their like super hearing devices. So we see them all throw them into the snow because it's so fucking loud. But yes, they're able to immediately like pinpoint like southwest we go. We ride. immediately. It's like, it was pretty fucking smart to find her that way, because they were like,
yeah, true.
Her voice is so loud and annoying.
What is the most identifiable thing about her? All right, put in the headphones, ladies.
Let's do it. I guess we have to fuss. She's gonna owe us. She's gonna owe us. She's gonna owe us. 1, 2, 3, go.
She's that way. She's that way.
There. So yes, they snowboard down to that like cabin chalet thing that she's screaming in. And they bust into the place and to get her out. When they go in, she is tied up in a chair, screaming her head off for help. But as soon as they walk in and like get close to Mandy, all of their feet freeze to the ground, probably with the prison toilet ever freeze.
Yes,
that gets sprayed across the floor, and Dr. Jolie walks out, and he sees the actual Clover, and it basically just focuses on her very creepily, and tells her, and as he like reflects on what's happening, Clover's like, are you still like trying to freeze the world? That's so lame. And he's like, my dear ice queen, like creepy. Like, I think he's like walking by. He's like, ew, it's just like, it's like a lion like surrounding his prey situation. Yeah. It's gross. But yes, he does, or he now says basically like, you broke my heart before, and so now like having you as an ice queen isn't what I want anymore. Instead, like I gave that up for revenge against you. And yes, still revenge against the human race. I'm still on that trip. So
haven't changed much.
Yeah. Like I'm still the same old. You remember me, right, Clover? The good times we had. No, I can't go back to you. She's just like,
he's like doing all of this monologuing himself too. What the fuck?
Clover's just like,
oh my god, that toilet, whatever free shit, messed him up.
No, Clover, stop begging. I simply couldn't. Jail changed me.
Just totally silent.
They're just like, even Mandy's silent.
Yeah.
Just being like, oh fuck.
Which also, wait a minute. Okay, maybe you'll get to it at the end, but Mandy is now seeing that they're spies. Or she just assumes like, oh, they came to help me.
They just like changed clothes and came to help. He doesn't say like, you thwarted me before. He was just like, okay, you broke my heart, Clover, and now I'm still going to take revenge on the world and you. Yeah. So there's no like.
In my mind, though, if I was Mandy, I'd still be like, what kind of involvement do you have with this eco-terrorist? This is strange. Okay.
Pin in it real quick because it does come up. Okay. So yes, we continue to villain monologue. And yes, he says before he goes and ice ages the world, he's going to make sure that he kills them first by causing an avalanche that will perfectly crush this entire cabin. Yeah, so you can all horribly suffocate and die. You know, he's not good at breakups. No, is what we're learning here.
And Clover's like, we weren't even a thing.
I mean, basically, Clover's like, gross, dude. Like, get over it. He, I will say, credit to him, very smartly takes their backpacks that are full of gadgets because he fucking knows that they're spies. Pretty much only says goodbye to Clover. Again, probably like one last like wistful stare, being like, we could have had an entire ice age, just the two of us. No, never again. Goes into the snow, goes off to the distance. Hilariously, as soon as he walks out, Mandy is like, ew, Clover, you dated him? So that's what Mandy thinks is happening, is that he's Clover's ex-boyfriend and that he's gross nasty, and that is bad. He's bad at breakups. Yes. Is what Mandy thinks is happening.
Yeah.
So double hilariously, as they hear a distant rumbling, Mandy keeps screaming, and let's take a early pin out of or I guess really take that pot off the water, because Clover just bitch slaps Mandy.
Yes.
Because Mandy just starts like screaming her head off, and Clover's like,
sweet
Jesus
justice.
Fucking Christ. And like, pretty sure it's she just like straight across, like Sam and Alex like both gasp, but don't stop her.
Okay, good.
They're like,
again,
oh,
we don't condone violence on this
ever.
podcast at all.
Never,
but
never.
some people are deserving of at least a light tap.
A little reminder of, you know what, like, here was the situation. They're all frozen in place. They hear the avalanche about to get started. Like, this guy who is going to murder the whole world is on the loose. We do not need you screaming, Mandy. And them telling Mandy to be quiet. Mandy couldn't hear them because she was screaming so much. So Clover did, in this scenario, what she had to do, which is bitch slap a hoe.
And
a nasally ass, backhand turns her ring around.
Yeah. And actually, we can say that maybe this was a good thing, because what she really was doing was snapping Mandy out of it. She was just trying to calm her down and bring her back. Yeah, she was hysterical. She needed to that was the only way to get her to just stop and calm down.
I think you could argue that in court.
Bitch slapping a hoe. Yeah. Sure, it's like tangential to self-defense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, her nasally ass voice was going to make this avalanche snap even sooner. So
true.
It was buying them time, essentially. Yeah. But very luckily, Clover pulls out from her ski jacket that laser lipstick, and she melts like the ice, like freeze that were around their feet so they can all move again. They untie Mandy and basically like drag her along. Maybe one of them like slings her over their shoulder of like, bitch, you were gonna be too slow. And they run out as the avalanche starts to come down the mountain. So they scramble up a really high tree. Again, I think literally like piggyback Mandy up there. As the avalanche fully overtakes the cabin, covering the entire forest floor beneath them. At this point, Mandy is like clinging to Clover and being like, I love you, thank you. I'll do anything for you if I get out alive. Help me. And so like, they weren't wrong. Like, Mandy owes them now. Mandy fucking knows it. And so eventually the avalanche stops, slows down a little bit. I guess they brought like those cool ass snowboards. I think they like left them outside the cabin and grabbed them on the way out, because they're able to snowboard away from the cabin to try and find Dr. Jolie. And they split up here. So Alex takes Mandy on her snowboard because she's the best snowboarder and could get Mandy back to safely. And basically, she's obviously a fucking liability. While Sam and Clover are going to go try and chase Dr. Jolie because they notice outside of the avalanche's path his snowmobile tracks. So Alex gets Mandy. They like head back to the resort. But on the way boarding down, they cross paths with the snowboarding competition Todd. And Todd. Alex doesn't fucking have time for Todd though, because she absolutely fucking slaughters him in this boarding competition. Like doing tricks and shit, and fucking wins with Mandy on her back.
I was gonna say, with Mandy, man, with Mandy, all that dead weight, that's awesome.
Doesn't slow her down at all. They absolutely obliterate. Todd gets fucking first place. Yes, do you have a question?
I was gonna say, I guess that was kind of her and Sam's plan all along, right? Or was it her and Clover, whoever came up with that idea? So,
yep. Alex is like, Mandy, you're about to be so fucking embarrassed.
This is doubly embarrassing for Mandy, because she's also like over Alex's shoulder or whatever, and Alex beats Todd. It's like, you guys are both losers. Toss.
Gross. So meanwhile, Clover and Sam are able to follow Jolie, and they see him near a cliff edge. And so they like double down, like hunker down, get a little more aerodynamic on their boards to like head him off. But he has some of their laser lipstick, because remember, he stole their backpacks. Oh,
that's right.
And so he melts this. Yeah, why does he have laser lipstick? My only memory of Clover from before.
I stole it from her years ago. It's what helped me get through prison.
Yeah, he just sleeps with it every night. Don't like that. So he melts the snow in front of them as they board closer, causing it to just be rocky, causing them to crash and tumble off the cliff edge to their probably death. And he speeds away, except this stupid creepo didn't count on the true goat of the show, the true master spy who always is one step ahead. Fucking Jerry.
Yeah.
Because he is waiting below that cliff. He's got his, like, I don't know, I guess he's got a skylight in one of his jets because they fall perfectly into his plane. Hilariously, they like fall into the plane. They're like, wait, what the fuck? Jerry goes, hello, girls, here's some more gadgets. Tosses in the gadget and then hits another button, and then the bottom of the plane opens up.
Awesome plane.
I know, it's fucking cool as hell. Perfect for this drop-in scenario. But yeah, they're like, wait, what's happening? Ah, like falling again.
Take some more gadgets.
Yeah, exactly. But they are able to board down because they're like, all right, we got to get back with Alex. Like, we got our gadgets now. Alex is down at safety. Like, all right, we're coming to Alex. But the awards ceremony is going on for the competition. So Alex and Mandy are on stage, hilariously getting first and second because Alex was first. Mandy technically was the second person to cross the finish line.
I guess.
And Todd is in third.
If I were in fourth place, I would be appealing so hard to the refs. Like, are you kidding me?
Todd is fucking devastated.
Yeah.
Right now, as is fourth place. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So Sam and Clover kick their boards off and run up to Alex, just like on the stage, to explain that Dr. Jolie got away. They got to like reconvene. He's like about to ice age the world, and also like, if he saw we all got away, so he's probably after you now, Alex. And Mandy interrupts him, though, obviously not for anything helpful, but to complain about her award, because she's like, this plaque, and she's like showing it to them, is like definitely not enough carats of gold. Like, this is so cheap and lame. Ew.
Well, first of all, it's silver. Yeah, dumb.
So bitch. Alex just pushes her off. You dumb bitch, it's silver. She's like, ew, tacky. So for once, though, Mandy's bitching is important and does save the day, because as she's holding up the plaque, one of the girls notices a tiny red dot that's on the plaque and is moving around. And they can see the reflection of the plaque, Dr. Jolie, I guess we'll go this way, on the side of a mountain with the laser lipstick, trying to aim at one of the girls from afar. And I guess the laser lipstick is not a laser pointer, but fucking shoots lasers. Because right at that moment, one of the girls like moves the plaque perfectly as Jolie fires the fucking laser gun lipstick, which refracts somehow against the plaque. Instead of hitting them, it hits the mountainside just above him, causing a huge avalanche to immediately drop. We see it drop on him on his snowmobile. So I guess he dies?
Probably.
A taste of his own icy medicine?
Yes. God, what were there, like 2 or 3 avalanches in one day up here?
The ski patrol is busy on this mountain. Like,
they're strapped.
Yeah, like no one is allowed to be skiing because it's too dangerous right now.
The medic center, again, like you thought they were busy before. Yeah, it's just all people impacted by these avalanches.
Exactly. And like, whatever, maybe Jerry swoops in and catches him and gets him into an even higher security prison, maybe. Yeah. But I can't confirm or deny that. And like, I don't have my backcountry Abby certifications, but I would assume a laser gun avalanche is pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think it's in the handbook somewhere, but I haven't read it. But I would assume it's pretty gnarly. And so we end with the girls being besties with Mandy because she's so grateful that they saved her life. But of course, Todd shows up and is like, hey, Clover, like, what's going on? And Mandy is back on her bullshit because she's like, oh my God, this was some huge plot with your ex-boyfriend just so you could get Todd. And so now they're enemies again. And that's the end.
And Mandy has some shit to work out.
Yeah, and Mandy's got some daddy issues. Like, that she was like, it's totally fine that Clover dated this like 66-year-old man,
Yeah, I'm not weirded out about the age gap. I'm
Yeah.
weirded out about how he's just a creep who kidnapped me.
Right. She's
How
just
dare
mad that he was
you?
boring.
Yeah.
And that his
And she
like
just used
tacky,
him.
absolutely like not his actual cabin, like someone's cabin he broke into had like tacky
Yeah.
decor. Um,
And
yeah, that's
like
it.
how she thinks that Clover went out of her way to
Get
get
her
this guy
kidnapped
here. Like, what? Oh, Mandy's so delusional. Wow,
again,
great job.
but like
Great job.
equally again, the abyss of hate they have for each other. Because don't forget that the three of them were early blaming Mandy for almost murdering them. So like
Yeah.
they all got a lot of conspiracies about each other and the extremes the other one will go to ruin their own personal lives. So,
The
which
extremes
like,
are
you know,
far.
teenage girls can confirm pretty self-centered. How we were then.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the world revolves around them. So, you know, it must be the arch nemesis that snapped some cables so I could explode on the mountain floor and get caught in avalanche,
I was gonna
get
say,
burned
yeah.
alive and then suffocate.
Yeah, we were teenage girls who were kind of self-centered at points, but I also can't think of a single person, another teenage girl, even more so, who I would ever accuse of
Trying to
attempted murder.
me. Or like faking a kidnapping so they could steal my partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Like, wow,
violent kidnapping.
the hate is strong.
Girls, we need to uplift each other, not tear each
Yes,
other down, uplift each
exactly.
other.
Be
So
friends, or at least just
exactly.
ignore each other.
Yeah, just stay out of each other's business. Stay in your
Yeah.
lane. Mind your own business.
Great
So
job.
much to ask for.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It was a fun episode. Also, again, I think the original Dr. Julie episode was, oh yeah, it was in the first season, then kind of towards the end. So
Okay.
2
Okay.
episodes for folks to go out and watch.
You always find the eco-terrorists, that's
I know,
for sure.
I'm just
Like
naturally drawn.
whether it's like the actual ones trying to protect the environment or ones like working on plant life and whatnot. It's
Exactly. I'm always
you
drawn to
gotta.
the nature.
Yes. Yeah.
Someone who turns himself into a bug, a
Yeah,
cockroach.
exactly.
Yep.
That's
This all checks
your
out.
lane.
As for
I've got
who
the
I am.
gerbil lane. You've got the eco-terrorism lane. That's our thing.
I almost the other day I almost texted you a gerbil fact that I came across. Fuck, I can't remember. Maybe it was a hamster fact, so I didn't text it to you.
Okay.
I'll try and refind it and text it to you either way. Anyways,
Please
yeah.
do.
You're a
I always
resident
want to learn more. Yeah.
Always.
I always want to learn more, or rodents in general, perhaps
Yes,
even.
rodent expert.
Yes.
Indeed. Great. Well, yes, between now and next week, who should our audience, our viewers, our listeners tell about the show?
This week, tell a snowboarder or
Nice.
a snowboard enthusiast. Find
Nice.
one of them and tell them that while they're hitting the slopes, pop those headphones in.
Oh,
Sound
yeah.
super safe, and
Yeah, you're supposed to. Anyways, whatever.
But yeah, and yeah, listen to this episode.
Okay, nice. I think after that, you should tell your friend with the most annoying voice.
Oh,
Just like the wild thornberry is your most dumb and stupid friend. Tell your friend with the most nasally voice. Again, because you have to recommend the show. You don't have to recommend a specific episode.
okay.
So like they don't know which episode you came to them from.
Once they get, if they did happen to listen to like either this or that Wild Thornberries episode, they get to the end and they're like,
the fuck?
Wait a minute. My friend told me about this episode. Wait a minute. My friend told me about this episode.
Yeah, maybe like you've been trying to tell your friend to like shut the fuck up more because their voice is so bad. This is the episode to send them.
This is the way to do it. This is how you do it gently. Yeah. You're welcome. We're helping you preserve your friendships, your relationships in a healthy way.
Yeah, we're the middlemen here. Like, we got you. This is what we do for our viewers. This is what we do for our audience. We love you so much. That's why.
Yeah. It's our quid pro quo. You guys owe us now by sharing, liking, subscribing, dropping a comment, leaving a review, giving us 5 stars.
All of the above, baby.
Yes.
Great. Well, we'll see y'all next week. Till next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.